Alright, so I'm Jaaye-Person Lynn. I'm an abolitionist who earns a living as a criminal defense attorney. On January 10th, 2019, I went out to the San Bernadino Civic Center to retrieve discovery in a case that I was working on. Since I didn't have court that day, I was dressed casually. I also went to meet with a client, and before I left, I had actually sent an appearance attorney for the arraignment. They got there maybe around 9, but the court had already set another date that was not good for my calendar. So while I was there, I said, hey, let me see if I could talk to the clerk. So I walk up to the clerk's desk, walk past the bar to the clerk's desk. Deputy comes from the lockup area and asks, does he know me? I tell him, no, you don't know me, but I'm here to talk to the clerk about one of my cases. And he then says, well, you need to go back there, pointing to the gallery area. And when I ask him why, he says, because you're not an attorney. I say, well, I am an attorney. And then he points me to the bailiff, a black woman, Deputy Sutton. Before I could say anything to her, she says, you see that bar? Only attorneys can pass that bar there. And so I tell her, again, I am an attorney. And then I go to reach for my bar card in my pocket, my back right pocket. So I pull out the wallet, but before I could pull the bar card out, Deputy Barry grabs my left arm and violently pushes me out to the gallery area as if I'm being bounced out of club. Now we're standing in the gallery area. Deputy Barry kind of leans back on a podium and I'm talking to Deputy Sutton. I'm standing with my hands underneath my arms. I'm a little upset, but I'm still not physically responding.
You don't have to keep taking me to the clerk's office. I'm going to talk to the clerk. No, you can't step up and talk to the clerk. What are you here for? I'm an attorney. I'm an officer of the court. I'm here to talk to the clerk. Okay. That's what I'm here for. What are you here to talk about? To the clerk. About what case? Not anyone.
Well, it's not social hour with the clerk. We got to figure out what you're doing here.
Nope.
They later both testified, though I had stated it many times that I was an attorney, they just did not believe me. They also testified they did not ask truthfully for my bar card, ask for my identification, my bar number, anything of that sort. So they ended up saying I needed to leave the courtroom.
You can step out. Step out. I'm not going to step out. I'm
Available Roberts
You cannot approach the clerk.
in Department 7.
As they're telling me I cannot approach the clerk, a white woman DA walked through the well of the court, grabbed something from the clerk. So it's clear attorneys can do what I was trying to do.
Tell the clerk I want to talk to him.
Before we go into the vestibule area, Deputy Barry kind of walks off and takes out his taser and secretes it behind his back. So as I turn to walk out, I don't know he's taking out a taser. After he pushed me, I went to walk back over to the clerk. He put his hand on my chest. I moved his hand off my chest. I didn't swipe at it. I didn't bat at it. And the way you know is he didn't respond with any violence. But as I turned to walk out, Deputy Sutton put your hands on me to push me out. I turned to walk out. I let them know.
Yeah, I'm sure. Guarantee this.
Deputy Sutton asked me for the name, so I give her the case number. While I give her the case number, I look at Deputy Barry and I say, you f***ed up.
You f***ed up. MSB. I promise you f***ed up. Put your hands on me, Barbie.
I look at his badge, Deputy Barry. I'm come after you with everything I learned in law school.
I'm definitely coming after you. I promise you with everything I have, everything I learned in law school.
I didn't go to say, I promise, and I intended to say to come after you with everything that I learned as an attorney. But before I could get the second part out, he shoots me with the taser.
I'm definitely up. I got you. You're on the ground. You're on the ground.
And he shot from the hip. It was no warning. It was no backup. It was none of that.
Kevin, don't tell me you're coming after me and you step
up on me. You understand what I'm telling you? That's a threat.
Deputy Sutton, I'm standing directly in front of her. She doesn't see the taser, and she testified there was never a thought in her mind to use a taser because there was never a thought in her mind that I was actually a threat. A taser is supposed to calm the situation down, so you bring it out as a deterrent. So if I'm acting wild and crazy, you don't put the taser behind your back to hide it from me. You pull it out to show me, hey, if you don't calm down, I'm gonna go take this next step. We do know people have died from being tased. So that's what he was willing to do, was put my life in jeopardy because of his feelings. And I was ultimately charged by the San Bernardino County District Attorney's Office with the crime of resisting, delaying, or obstructing an officer in the performance of their duty. Deputy Sutton was the bailiff who was supposed to be checking people in. Once I gave her the case number, there was nothing for Deputy Berry or I to do at that point but wait for her to check on the case. In no way did I resist because it has to be resisting a lawful order. I'm an attorney, I'm an officer of the court. My bar card is my license to be in the area of the courtroom and do what I was there to do. This is what shows it's not just the police, it's the prosecutors that support these police, and they're more dangerous because the police, maybe they have a high school diploma, maybe they have a GED, there's no requirement to go to college, but the prosecutors are trained attorneys that manipulate the law to protect the police. When we had the hearing to dismiss the case based on outrageous police conduct, as well as a motion to suppress any evidence that they got after the seizure, she moved in that hearing to try to exclude the audio and video recording of what happened. So that shows she's being malicious. She's trying not to get the information to the judge. I had scars for weeks and weeks, and sometimes even still feel the pain. And this is about 1.5 years later. It's very traumatic. I've started therapy after this encounter. It's frustrating because you know, when you achieve the status of attorney and you get that bar card and you've done everything you need to do educational wise, and as a citizen, you, in addition to the bar exam, you have to pass the moral character and fitness exam. So passing all of that, doing all of that, working, being prevented from doing my job with violence, not breaking any law, but then being charged with a crime. This is how the system works. That's that racism, that superiority, that nigger, how could you speak to me? Let me put you in your place, nigger. That's the spirit of it all. My name is Jaaye-Person Lynn, and in America, my life should matter, but it doesn't. You know, there's certain things that can be humbling. This is more so just reminding me that I don't have a country here, that I'm a second-class citizen at best. Every black man that gets wrongfully pushed by a cop and removes that cop's hand from their chest can now be convicted of a crime. That's what I do feel bad about. I'm part of black people's rights being rolled back and diminished. There were no black jurors in the entire pool of 24, even though Rancho Cucamonga is 9% black. So we should have had at least 2 black jurors in the pool. So what I am asking people to do, you definitely have to get resources together for the appeal, as well as in the event the judge could give me a year in the county jail, which I would serve 6 months of that. So we're also putting together resources in case that happens, and also asking everyone to draft a letter, and I'll post the information to the DA as well as the judge. The DA's letter is saying, regardless that you got a conviction, there's no way this could be a crime. You should just dismiss it now. The letter to the judge is saying that you should dismiss the case, but in the alternative, At the most, give him a slight fine and no jail time or probation. But yeah, man, thanks for the love and support. We never let a hard time humble us, but we definitely are looking at what this means for myself and my community. All right, thank you. Thanks for the love.